Hello everybody. I just wanted to share a little bit of an update with you. As some of you know, a couple of days ago I posted a video telling you that my uncle was in hospital and very, very ill, and that it might take me a while to get around to posting anything new on my channel. Well, today, around about midday, we got a phone call from the hospital saying that my uncle had passed away. He was only 64. I think he was going to be 65 this year, and he passed away very peacefully. You know, he wasn't in any pain or anything like that. But yeah, he has unfortunately gone. So you know, he was a great man. You know, he was very funny. He was incredibly intelligent. He could be stubborn as an ox at times, but he was still a wonderful, wonderful man. I mean, like I mentioned in my previous video, you know, this is the man. He basically saved me from the darkest period of my life. You know, he gave me a place to live when I was homeless, and that's something I'll never be able to thank him for that. I'll never be able to tell him or show him just how much that meant to me, you know, because I was homeless for a year, and when he found out, he immediately turned around and said, "Look, come live with me. You know, I'm living in a house all by myself. I've got plenty of rooms. Come live with me." You know, and there's no way I'd ever be able to show my appreciation for that. But yeah, you know, like I said in the previous video, he was very, very ill. You know, all his organs were shutting down because of the toxicity of his blood, because his liver had basically gone kaput. You know, it wasn't cleaning his blood properly, so it was poisoning all his organs, and you know, over time they were shutting down. And I mean, my mother phoned the hospital this morning to find out how he was, and they said, you know, he was asleep, he was resting, and all that. And then about lunchtime they phoned up and said they had passed away peacefully, you know, not in any pain or anything like that. So yeah, it might. I know you're all going to be very understanding, and I mean, in the previous video, a lot of you said, "Look, don't worry about us. We'll still be here. Your family, your mental health, and stuff comes first." And you know, I really do appreciate that. It means so much to me. And you know, you all offered your support, positivity, and love, and you know, I can't thank you enough for that. So further to that, you know, obviously it might be a little while before I can upload anything again, because you know we've got a lot of stuff to deal with, because the house I'm living in was essentially his house. The car I was driving was his car. I was just a named driver on the insurance, and now I can't drive at all because until I manage to get some insurance sorted out. But for some reason, you know, I'm trying to get quotes for insurance, but they're all coming up saying, sorry, we can't do that. And I'm guessing it's because the car is registered in his name. So I'm going to try and figure that out. And, you know, I live in the back end of nowhere. You know, I live in a tiny little village, which is about 4 or 5 miles to the closest shop. You know, so it's essential that I have a mode of transport. And especially with my disabled mother as well, I have to take her to doctor's appointments and things like that. So, you know, we've got a lot of things to sort out. Obviously, we need to try and get his body brought back over here where we live, because, you know, he was over in Newcastle. We'd been to see him on Friday, and we were going to go and see him tomorrow. But, you know, when he passed, he wasn't by himself. They had a palliative care nurse that was actually sitting in a room with him, because apparently they had a nurse that sat in with him for most of the time whilst we weren't there, which is something I'm incredibly thankful for, because, you know, the idea of him just passing away on his own in an empty room, you know, it's not something you particularly want to think about. But yeah, he was a wonderful man. Like I said, he wasn't even 65 yet. I think he was 65 this year, in November this year. But you know, he did so much for me. You know, like I say, he saved me from the darkest period in my life. You know, he was a wonderful man. You know, incredibly smart. I mean, he spent years working with the Red Cross. He was involved with the RAF. He helped run hospital radio in the UK for many years. You know, so he had a lot of things to be proud of. You know, and he always seemed to face every day with great enthusiasm. He always seemed happy. You know, he always enjoyed everything, it seemed. You know, he used to collect Warhammer 40,000 models. He was a big fan of Space Wolves. In fact, when we were redecorating the house, we painted his bedroom Space Wolf grey. And he's got unknown quantities of these figures. You know, there is so many of them. I can't even begin to estimate how many there are. You know, absolutely tons of them. But yeah, so we've got a lot of stuff to sort of figure out and sort through. I think my mother's sister is going to try and come up to help us. I'm not sure about that though. But yeah, it's unfortunate news. But yeah, I thought you might like to know any further thing. And you know, it's just really unfortunate because, I mean, like I said in my previous video as well, he spent 2 years hiding away in the house to get away from the COVID pandemic, and then, you know, we spent the first 6 months of this year stuck in a hotel because all our ceilings fell through. And within a matter of weeks of getting home, he falls seriously ill and passes away just 2 months after we get back into the house. Well, it's not even 2 months, is it? It's about a month and a half, if that. You know, so unfortunately that's the way of things. But I mean, once he was taken into hospital, he just went downhill so quickly. But you know, we're thankful that, you know, he had somebody sitting there by his side when he went. Thankfully, his best friend managed to go and visit him yesterday before he passed, and you know, they had been best friends for many years, like 20 odd years, I think. You know, so they've known each other a very long time. They're very good friends. So yeah, they went to see him yesterday. So thankfully, they got to see him before he passed. Yeah, but yeah, I thought you all might like to know what was happening, because I mean, obviously, I kept you updated for over the 6 months we were in the hotels, and I was talking about my uncle and mother a few times there. So yeah, but like I say, it might be a while before I upload everything. I know you're going to be very understanding and very positive. And I really do thank you so much for that. But I want to try and get back to it as soon as I can, because I really enjoy doing it, and it might sort of take my mind off things, you know, because you know, when things are getting tough, you know, I don't want to sit there dwelling on it. I want to try and focus my mind on other things. So I'm going to try and get back to it, but you know, there's no guarantees. But yeah, I just thought I should let you guys know what was going on as a follow-up to the previous video. But thank you all very much for watching, and I'll see you again soon. Bye bye.